just fixing up my CV. And yeah, I've been using more prompts than I would have been using before.
Good. So you're finding it's helpful.
Yeah, it's pretty helpful.
Okay, good.
Oh,
Hello, Harry. How are you?
I am all right, thank you.
Cool. I think we'll get started. So if anyone else jumps in, Penny, obviously they can just catch up as you go along. I'm sure they won't struggle to catch up a little bit. So good morning, everyone. I'm just covering for Lucy this morning. So just here to say hello to you all, and to introduce the wonderful Penny, our fabulous delivery partner across Grad Recharge and one of my digital her mentors as well. So lots of love for Penny on many different fronts across Manchester Digital. Um, and Penny's going to be doing a grad recharge, an AI masterclass with you again this morning. So without further ado, I will hand over to her.
Thank you. Thanks so much. That was very nice. Okay, let me just share my screen. Where are we? Here. Okay. So prompt module 2 is all about how to get better results from ChatGPT by giving it better direction. So it's about making ChatGPT more useful, more focused, and less random, and not by using fancy words, but by giving it better instructions. So the last time that we were together, we set up your workspace, and hopefully you've done all that and you're kind of comfortable with it all. This week we're going to make it more useful. So if you remember from last time when I showed you around the dashboard, we looked at what a chat was. We set up a project. We did a little bit of personalization. We hopefully gave it a little bit of structure and we reduced the mess. Not that you were messy, but hopefully things are a little bit more organized for you now. So from that, it's like I've got ChatGPT open. I am just chatting away with it, or I'm using it like Google or something like that. And now we're going to get to learn how to guide it properly. Um, so I know you've all used ChatGPT, and I did just speak to Gina about what she tried. So, um, does anybody else want to share what they tried with it after module 1? Go on, don't be shy. You were all talking to me last time.
I haven't had like a huge I haven't used it a huge amount since last time, but I have still used it with like my sort of like my help with like writing stuff and everything like that. It's still really handy for that. And yeah, I've been trying to give it more context and stuff like that to get like more meaningful prompt responses from it. Because I know that's a big one with ChatGPT. If you don't give it anything to work with, it just gives you generic stuff back.
Yeah, awesome.
I
Roofing?
I use the ChatGPT to help me prepare the interview. So I ask the ChatGPT what kind of question that put that would that those employee would like to ask. So those potentially question and help me to prepare those questions. So
Okay.
I send the description of the role that I applied, and also I send the information that the employer provide me for the interview.
Awesome.
So that GPT give me like 15 questions for each area.
And
So
did you
the yeah, in that interview I have 5 area to question to answer, and so each area ChatGPT give me 15 questions.
Awesome. And did you find that useful, or did you find anything was still a bit generic or clunky or annoying?
I think it is useful, and by doing so, I slightly understand why do those employer would like to would like to ask. So why do they choose those five area to ask? So what those five area really related to? So like linked to my role. Then I properly understand those area. So it makes me more confidence to to answer the question during the interview.
Brilliant. That's great use of it. Thank you for that. Okay, so by the end of today, you'll be able to write clearer prompts, so communicate with ChatGPT in a way that gets you what you actually need. Hopefully get less generic output, so move beyond the bland one-size-fits-all responses. Use projects more strategically, so build a workspace that works harder for you. Understand why some prompts work better than others, so you'll be able to spot the difference between a weak brief and a strong one. Use reusable prompt patterns for job search tasks, so stop reinventing the wheel every time you open a chat. And make AI work in a way that fits your brain, so less trial and error and more useful output. So ChatGPT doesn't read your mind, it mirrors your clarity. So I get this quite a lot with my students and my clients, and they're like, well, I asked it to write a report for me or a business plan or this, that, and the other, and like it was absolutely rubbish. And so it's again talking about what we talked about last week. It's about giving it that context first, so that it fully understands you before it gives you an output. So if you give ChatGPT a vague prompt, you'll usually get a vague answer. If you give it shape, tone, structure, and detail, it becomes much more useful. So if you've ever thought, why is it so generic? Why does it sound robotic? Why is it not quite what I meant? And I'll be dead honest with you guys, I still do that. I did something the other day and I was like, oh my God, like that is such a bad prompt. Why did I even do that? And it's not usually an AI problem, it's usually a clarity problem. You set the rules and that helps shape the results. So same task, very different results. So a weak prompt would be rewrite my CV. So let's say you put in rewrite my CV, you upload, does everybody remember how to upload a file? I'll just go over to, let me just go over to chat. New chat. So to upload a file, we're in our main sort of chat area here, and the plus sign there is where you can add photos and files. So you can upload your CV there. And then if you're saying something like rewrite my site CV, that's going to give you generic wording, bland tone, filler language, and something that could apply to anyone. So that's not really going to get you a job. All right. Sorry, I was just looking at the chat. So a stronger prompt would be, and I want you to look at the structure of this and think about what's included. You are a UK recruiter, so you're giving it a role. You might even want to say a UK recruiter in the STEM niche, something like that. So it's even more tailored. Rewrite my CV profile in a confident, friendly tone. Include measurable achievements. I don't know why WhatsApp's kicking in. Remove filler words and keep it under 3 punchy sentences. So that usually gives you more relevant wording, more focused output, better tone, and something with a clear purpose. So the difference is not the magic, it's in the brief. So a good prompt usually includes these 4 things. You're not trying to sound clever, you're trying to be clear. So the role, who do you want ChatGPT to be? So, for example, do you want it to be a recruiter, an interview coach, or a career advisor? The next step is context. What does it need to know? So it's going to need your background, the role, your goals. And again, like last time, the more information that you can give it, the better. And I do find that for me, speaking it in is the best way to do it. 3, constraints. What should it include, avoid, or focus on? So, for example, keep it concise, UK phrasing, remove filler words, and obviously the classic one, no M dashes. And the output, how do you want it to respond? So, for example, bullet points, a table, checklist, 3 options. And again, I would really think about this because, like I said in the first module, you need to stand out from other people, and especially other people that are using ChatGPT to write their CVs and cover letters. Because what I've found is that people are using it for that process. The recruiters are using AI to vet the applications and stuff, and things are getting missed in the middle. So I showed you how to set up projects last week, and projects makes everything easier. So before projects, you had to keep priming a new chart over and over again. So what I mean by that is this chart here. I don't know what's going on with WhatsApp. Every time you started a new chart, you were having to give it that context all over again. But with your projects, like I showed you last week, you can give them custom instructions so that that project always works from that context. And I'm going to go a little bit deeper with that today for you. So you're not going to have, so before projects, you had to keep repeating yourself, re-uploading files, re-explaining content, and losing consistency and probably the will to live as well. Projects helps you keep everything in one place. You can upload your CV into the project knowledge. You can add job descriptions. You can do your interview prep. You can do your prompt patterns in there, reusable instructions and tailored outputs. So it makes your work more organized, more focused, and more repeatable. So do you remember when I taught you how to personalize your account last week? We're going to do that with prompts today. So there's 2 different types of prompts. The first one is the system prompt, and that's what I call your AI's brain. So it tells ChatGPT how to behave inside that workspace. So, for example, ask clarifying questions, work step by step, explain clearly, prioritize UK job market conventions, avoid waffle, keep me focused and practical. I'm just going to show you where that lives. Let's just create a new project. Still not learned to type. Right, create project. Okay, so here is your project. What we're going to do is we're just going to come up to the top right of the dashboard where the 3 dots are, and we're going to click on that, and it says project settings, and it's going to bring up this box. So here you can see it says instructions, set context and customize how ChatGPT responds in this project. So what I have created for you is I'm going to give you, I apologize, guys. I am not good with Excel. I've never learned it, don't know how to use it. So you're just going to have to bear with me. I've just dumped a load of information on here. So you'll see there's loads of different tabs. So glossary of terms, why you would want to use separate designated chats, which we went over last week. We did go over priming last week, which again is context. This week we're learning about prompting. So the next tab is your system prompt. I will make this look better before I give it you. So I've broken it all down here into things that you should think about when creating your system prompt. And then I'm just going to copy this. So I've written it all for you. I will just read it out for you. You're my search thinking partner. Analyze job opportunities clearly. Improve CVs and cover letters. Prepare for interviews. Improve LinkedIn and professional positioning. Identify useful keywords, patterns, and gaps. Organize my thinking so decisions become clearer. You're not here to generate generic job search advice for the sake of it. Rewrite everything automatically. Don't rewrite everything automatically. Don't give fluffy motivation or robotic AI wording. Context you must hold. So I'm part of the Grad Recharge program. I'm using ChatGPT to support my job search, applications, and interview preparation, all that. The goal is not to sound like AI. The goal is to present myself more clearly, confidently, and effectively. Assume this about me. I mean, you can rewrite this. I just wanted to give you the structure so that you could just get going with it. I want practical help, not waffle. I prefer clear structure. I want support that's useful for real job search tasks. I do not want obvious AI fingerprints in my writing. I want help that moves me forward. So the main objective is clearer thinking, stronger applications, better interview preparation, and more confident professional positioning. Tone, style, and rules. Always use British English. God, I can't even speak in British English. Clear language, structured format, practical explanation, and a calm professional tone. You must prioritize clarity over complexity. Explain step by step when useful. Highlight what matters most first. Keep outputs practical and directly relevant. Challenge weak wording, vague claims, or missing evidence when needed. Never use generic motivational hype, Americanized career language unless asked, corporate buzzwords, exaggerated confidence, empty filler, robotic phrasing, or advice that sounds impressive but not useful. Avoid sounding like a generic careers blog, a hypey LinkedIn guru, an overconfident recruiter, or an AI sales page. How you should think. Act as a job advisor, CV reviewer, cover letter reviewer, interview preparation partner, LinkedIn assistant, and structured thinking guide. Some of these are kind of similar, but there is a bit more detail in here. So what you should do, identify what is strong, weak, vague, missing, or repetitive. Point out where evidence is needed. Help tailor documents to real roles. Extract skills and keywords from job descriptions. Improve structure, clarity, and relevance, and help me prepare stronger answers and examples. The questions rule. Ask up to 3 clear questions if important details are missing. Only ask what is necessary. Do not overwhelm me with too many questions at once. The reason why I put that in there was because I was thinking a bit like me, because I'm neurospicy, like when ChatGPT starts going, would you like me to do this? Would you like me to do that? I'm like, oh my God, my brain is going to explode. CV and cover letter principles. Focus on relevance, clarity, measurable evidence, stronger wording without sounding fake, alignment with the employer's needs, and reducing generic AI language. Prefer critique, tightening, and improvement over rewriting everything unless asked. Interview support principles. Focus on likely questions, clear structure, stronger examples, confidence without sounding scripted, identifying gaps and improving clarity and relevance. LinkedIn principles. Focus on clarity of role and direction, useful keywords, because the keywords are the things that the bots are going to crawl for. Stronger headline and about section, clearer evidence of value and language that sounds human and credible. Job description analysis principles focus on what the employer is really prioritizing, what skills and keywords matter most, where I already match, where I have gaps, and how I should tailor my application. When I'm stuck, help me separate facts from assumptions, reduce mental clutter, identify the real problem, and work out one useful next step. Default output structure. Key insight, structured explanation, main strength or main gap, suggested next step, and useful formats. Again, you can change these as to tailor them to what you want. So useful bullet points, short sections, comparison lists or tables when they make the answer clearer. And quality check. Before replying, make sure the response is clear, practical, structured, and jargon-free and immediately usable. So the reason why I've said this is one of the things I've found when I've been using ChatGPT, I start to get a bit frustrated with it because you say, please, can you create me this? And it gives you the first draft, which we all know we're never going to use that. But by the time you've gone back and forth with it 10 times and you're like, I just want you to give me something now that's usable. You've got all the information, you know what I want and what I don't want. And so I usually say, okay, I want you to give me your 12 out of 10 version. I need to crack on with this now rather than going back and forth all day. Refinement rules. If I say make it simpler, too long, be more direct, make it sound less robotic, or critique it instead of writing it, simplify, tighten, reduce filler, and keep the meaning the same. The guiding principle. AI is not here to replace judgment. It's here to help me think clearly, communicate better, prepare better, and reduce friction. So you can just pop in the chat. Is there anything in there that you hadn't thought of when you have been, writing your CVs or your cover letters or preparing for interviews and things like that, that you think will help you to get things a little bit clearer? Sorry, I know that was a lot of speaking then.
I like the bit about not rewriting everything automatically. Because that's something that ChatGPT does a lot and always used to really annoy me. Because like specifically if I'm trying to write for CVs, I don't actually want it to write the bulk of the text because the more that it actually writes specifically, the one word is going to be flagged by whatever system they're using to scan for AI fingerprints. So yeah, that's a handy one to get it to stop doing that.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah, me personally, I liked the section you were talking about the questions because sometimes ChatGPT does ask a lot of questions and it feels a lot really overwhelming. So yeah, I I liked that.
Yeah. I'm like, come on, get to the point now. Like, I've not got all day.
Literally.
Okay. Anybody else?
Sorry, I have a question about this.
Yeah.
Should I create a new file by myself?
It's up to you. You can do if you want. I think we created the projects last week, didn't we? I just wanted to show you sort of where we were now going to fill that project out. Does that make sense? But you can go.
Oh, so where can I access to that project?
So if you just let me just show you. Okay, so down the left-hand side, the way that I look everything, it's sort of I go down and then
Yeah.
sort of across and down like that. So you've got new chat, search chats, images, archive chats, apps, deep research codecs, and then GPTs, and then you should have projects. So all I did was I just clicked on new project and just called it Grad Recharge, but you can call it whatever you want.
Okay.
And then what you will see is there's a couple of extra bits here. So you've got the chat. So every time you start a new chat, sources, I'm going to show you in a minute. That's where you're going to upload your context. But at the top right, everything on the dashboard is usually hidden behind three dots. I don't like the way it's been designed, but that's just me. So click on the three dots, project settings, and this is where we're going to work right now. So I'm hoping that this, so what I've done is I know that let me just get rid of that. All this was a lot of a lot of information, yeah. You're going to get all of this, but what I wanted to show you is how I had broken it down. And then this is the ready to paste prompt. So I don't know if it'll all fit in your chat, but I'm just going to copy and paste it and show you how I'm going to put it in.
Ah,
I might have to send it over to you in sections. Let's just see if it will fit in. So where it says instructions, I'm going to pop it in there. So that is giving your project instructions clear directions of how to behave. Oh no, just I might have to reduce that a bit. Well, that's where you put it. I'll make sure that it all fits in properly. I'll reduce the wording a little bit before I send the deck over to you after this, but that's where you pop it in. Okay.
okay, okay, okay. Now
Yeah.
I understand.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, thank you.
So then what you would do is you would click save. Right. So now it's all prepped with how it's going to behave. The next thing that we're going to look at is sources. So this is where it tells you can give ChatGPT more context. So upload sources, link drives, connect apps like Slack to give ChatGPT deeper context about your project. So what you could do is rather than uploading your CV here in a new chat every time, you just um pop it into the project context. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yes, that makes sense. So this is also the thing that I that previously that I really because although I create a new project, I upload files through the new chat inside of the project. So maybe that makes the project inside they are not really sharing the file among different chat. So you mean I should upload all those files through the sources so that all the chat inside of this project we are using the same file.
Yeah. So what I would do, but I this is where you're going to start. I mean, I know you guys are all techie anyway and probably think like architects, but what I want you to start thinking about, because this is what I learned along my way, is that
Yeah.
probably you're going to upload your original CV. Yeah, so that's what it's going to pull from all the time. So then you could just go in a chat and say, I want to rewrite my CV for this job description. You're then going to upload the job description in here. So what this chat is going to do, it's going to pull from your CV that's sitting in there. But
Uh,
what you might want to do is as you're working with this and you're tweaking your CV over and over, you might want to come back, take the old CV out at some point and put your new CV in. Does that make sense? So that
yes.
because what I realized was that and I think I said this with the personalization settings last week, I realized I was working in an old version of me. Whereas actually you want to be thinking about where do I want to go. So so what to make it, sorry, I don't want to confuse you, but in here I would have your generic CV. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? And then I
Yeah.
would, each time you are going for a job, I would say recreate my CV to fit with this new job description, and then it'll create you a new CV here. Yeah. So keep
Yes.
generic one up here, and then in the chats, you're going to create your more tailored version going forwards.
Ah,
But
now
what
I understand.
yeah, but in here, the generic version, every time you get a new skill or you've got work experience or things like that, remember to update the generic CV in the knowledge file.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. Is everybody okay with that, or have I just confused everybody?
No, that
So,
makes sense.
Okay.
sorry, just to clarify, um, so we'd make do we make like a section just for our CV and then we add um like if we want to make another CV, we add it onto the chat?
Yeah. So what I would do is let me just I'll just upload a file. It doesn't matter what it is. So this is your overall project, which you will call, I don't know, interview search or something like that. Then here we're gonna upload, let's just say this. Yeah, that's your generic CV. So then whenever you are chatting in a chat, it's gonna pull from this context, which is your generic CV. Yeah. So you can
Oh,
just go
okay.
in and say, um, I am going for this job. I can't type. I'm going for this new role. Here is the job description. Tailor my CV, which is uploaded into the knowledge source, to this role. Okay.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
then it'll create you a new CV specifically for that role, because you all know, don't you, that when you're going for jobs, you should never send a generic CV or a
Mm.
generic cover letter. Um, and some people used to like get frustrated and say, but that's like having a job in itself. Well, yeah, if you really are really serious about finding a job and finding the one that you want, then I would really take the time to do this. And this is where ChatGPT can be helpful, because it can really cut that time down. Can you imagine how time consuming it is having to sit there and look at those job descriptions and trying to pull out the bits that are relevant and things and keywords, where the AI can do all this for you. So it should save you a lot of time and a lot of repetitive tasks. It'll be able to spot patterns for you. Um, so hopefully that helps. Um, Now the other thing that you can do is I'm just gonna put this in, but it's gonna say this is not a CV. Like you haven't added the right thing.
I just have a question.
Yep.
I have tried using ChatGPT for to make like CVs and stuff. And as you can see, like it just prints out the information. So are you supposed to just like copy and paste it into a separate document, or is there like a section where they fully make it into like a Word document?
So you can ask it. So what I would do is, this would be my workflow. So you ask it, you give it your prompts or whatever, it's going to give you an output. Yeah. Can you see? Is that? Oh, right. Oh, did you know this as well? You can actually, with that little pencil, if you can change your prompt as well, you can edit your prompt if you need to. I've never done it, but they so when it gives you this output, let's say it's written your CV and you've got it here, you can't edit this, can you? So what you're going to do is you're going to say, please turn the above into a canvas. So not canva, canvas. Oh, it's not done it. All right, stop. I don't know why it's not done it. It normally puts a okay, that's not editable. I want editable canvas. Sorry it's taking so long. It's because I'm on this thinking model. It's a bit slower. No, it's still not done it. Right. Did you see what I just did there? When you click the button, there's all this stuff hidden behind here. If you click more and then click on canvas, that should turn it into let's see if it'll do it. Oh, is it clicked off canvas? Oh, there you go. Right. Finally, it's done it. Okay. So you can see that it's got the little box around it. I'll just let it finish doing its thing. Try not to share your answers. And then you can click edit, and then you can edit within there. So you can make any edits you want. So if it's your CV, you can just work in that editable document rather than having to copy and paste it. Does that sound helpful?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And again, that's just reducing, well, apart from the fact that the canvas bit didn't work, it's supposed to reduce friction, so stop you having to copy and paste and re-upload the CV and everything. So let's just click off that because we don't need that. So hopefully that will help you. Okay, so your system prompt is the brain of the project, so that sits within the project. But then what you're going to want to do is each chat needs its own kind of direction as well. So what I mean by that is so you've got your instructions that sit in here, but then in each separate chat, you also want to give it instructions at the beginning of the chat. So for this one, it's called the master prompt. So the system prompt is in the instruction of the project. The master prompt is the beginning of a chat. So the role would be, let's say this one is for a job search co-pilot. You're my job search co-pilot. The main job is help me with CV improvement. Blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to go through all of that because we've talked about that before. What success looks like, how to work with me, what to focus on, what to avoid, generic phrasing. So we talked about that as well. Tasks that you can help with, questions rule, default behavior, output priorities, preferred tone, best default structure. Now, what I would actually do with this is every time you have a new chat, I want you to come back and rewrite your master prompt because otherwise your chats are all going to sound the same. Does that make sense? So you might have, I can't think off the top of my head because you guys are better at this than me, but you would have different chats for different things. So your master prompt would be relevant to that specific chat. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
does.
Okay, great. Where am I? So your master prompt is your AI's job description. It tells the chat what you want help with. So it might be rewrite my CVs, tailor applications, extract skills, analyze job specs, prepare interview answers, help me build confidence, create job search tasks. Without these, ChatGPT tends to people please. With them, it becomes far more useful. So then there's some prompt patterns that you can start using straight away. So you will have already seen these probably last week and this week in the way that we were setting up our personalization and the system prompts. So the first one is act as. So when you want ChatGPT to take on a role, give it an example. So for example, act as a UK recruiter and review my CV. And I would like you I'm going to give you some homework. And I want you to go and play around with this because what I want you to look at is how differently the responses are just by giving it a role. Okay. The next one is include. So when something feels missing, you might want to give an example of rewrite this and include measurable results and stronger action verbs. Table. This is the one I always use because I can't read long reams of text. So you would use table when you want structure. Turn this job spec into a table with columns for skill, employer wants, my evidence, and gaps. The other thing I would just say here is that ChatGPT really, really likes the word table. It doesn't really like Excel. It doesn't like sheets or anything like that. It doesn't really get that. So you really do need to use the word table. The next one is define. So when jargon is confusing, you might want to use an example like define stakeholder management for a junior analyst role. And then the next one is list. So this is when you want quick clarity. So something like list 8 likely interview questions for this role. And I know Rufang said he'd already done this, so that's amazing. Assess, determine, understand. You would use this when you want deeper insight. So determine why I may not be getting shortlisted. Hopefully you won't have to use that one. So where this helps straight away, you should now use this for things like your CV, your cover letters, improving your CV, tailoring cover letters and spotting gaps before you apply. So preparing for interviews and asking better follow-up questions when something feels off. Use it for updating your LinkedIn profile, identifying keywords in job descriptions, and turning a job spec into a clearer action plan. So I don't know if somebody else teaches you about LinkedIn within this program, but if you're going for one role and the recruiter goes and looks at your LinkedIn profile and it's saying something totally different, it's going to be confusing and it's going to be like a next straight away. So again, think about when creating your LinkedIn profile, is it relevant to the jobs I'm applying for? So the goal is not to use AI for everything. The goal is to use it where it can genuinely help you. So saving time, getting clearer, reducing overwhelm, and making better decisions. So how have you found that today? Has it been helpful? Have you learned new stuff?
Yeah, it's been very helpful. Will we have access to these PowerPoints?
I will send you today, you will get the recording of this, you will get this deck, and you are also going to get this really unsexy Excel spreadsheet. And what I have done for you, I have tailored this all to you guys. So I've talked about what priming looks like for you. I've talked about what prompting will look like for you. I've created your system prompt, the master prompt, and then what you will also get is examples of how to use act as, include, table, and perfect, but for different parts of your job search that you might be looking for. So you will get all that. Um, but what I would like to know before I actually send it out to you, is there anything specific that you would like me to tailor these prompts to? Because I'd literally write them for you. Is there anything you'd like me to focus on or anything I've not focused on? That would be really helpful for me.
Well, I'm currently revising for like interview like the grad test, when they have to do like numerical reasoning and stuff like that. So that's the kind of things that I'm revising on. So if you could maybe add some prompts for that as well, please, that would be great.
Sure, no
Thank
problem.
you.
Anybody else?
I can't think of anything specific at the moment, but I will let you know if that changes. I do like the prompts though, especially the one, I think this one about British English, because it got flagged as like that's a really like big like thing that employers don't like as well as American English in your because like I actually so I had a call before this and like my CV has Americanized English in it even though I didn't actually use ChatGPT for it, but apparently that makes it look like I did, which is really annoying. So yeah, there's like little handy things like that so it doesn't give them away. But yeah, I think the prompts that you had there look really good, to be honest. I think they're really helpful.
Oh, good. And don't forget as well, my number one rule, like never send it out without checking it over. Like,
Yeah.
I do still say like you use it as your thinking partner. Use it as even when you get to your final draft, the human has to quality check it, sanity check it before you send it out.
Yeah, no, definitely. Because it hallucinates things, doesn't it? It just sometimes just does make things up.
Do you know how to make the AI sound more like you as well?
I've uploaded some like of my personally written stuff into the sources. I don't know beyond that.
So one of the exercises I sometimes give my students is just go into a chat, a normal chat, and in fact, I will put this prompt in your prompt pack for you so that you don't have to think about this. In fact, this can be your homework, part of your homework. So I will give you a prompt, and the chat is going to ask you maybe 10, 12 questions. And what I want you to do is I want when it'll ask you question by question. I want you to speak those answers in, and I just want it to be you. Okay. Don't be writing them in or anything like that, because when you're writing, you're thinking about the writing as well and your grammar and your punctuation and stuff. I just want you to speak it in so it's your raw language. And then by the time you've got to the end of the 12 questions, the chat has a really, really good idea of who you are, what you want, the way that you speak. Because if it doesn't know that, it's just going to give outputs like it might be long sentences, medium sentences, every now and again, a short sentence. And sometimes just the way that things are formatted can also get flagged as AI. So
Hmm.
the more that it can be you, I think the better chance you're going to get of standing out about from other people. So then what you would want to do at the end of it, I will give you another prompt to add at the end of it that will say, this into almost like a personal brand deck about me. And then you can download that as your part of your project knowledge and upload it into the source. Yeah. So then it's going to speak like you, and then that would be its starting point. And then when you're in a chat, you could say, "Oh, I want this to be a bit more professional, or a bit more conversational, or more humorous, or something like that." But it's actually got you inside it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. That sounds good.
Okay. Because I think that's one of the things. Like people are always like, "Doesn't sound like me." Have you trained it to sound like you? That can be your homework. Okay.
I have a question. So, in my case, I would like to have like three style CV. So it's for different kinds of role. So, for example, if one CV is for the academic role, so that CV can be like multiple pages, so like unlimited pages and very long detail. And another role, maybe, for example, I would like to apply for quantitative researcher, which is related to the finance, trading, all those things. So should I have two different projects, or I should have only one project?
I would, there's two ways you can do this. So this would be your personal choice.
Yeah,
I actually would keep it in the project, but you would have separate chats and you would work within those separate chats. Yeah. So you would
yeah,
have one for the first one you mentioned, one for the second one you mentioned, and one for the third. But then what you can do, I don't know if you remember this from last week. I really hope this is going to work. Right. Underneath, so you are now working in a chat. You have uploaded your context and you're now going to start wanting to chat in that chat. Yeah. When
yeah.
you come down to here, there's three dots at the bottom. No, it didn't work. Right. Uh, how do I do it? Let me just go. I think that's because it's in an editable doc. Okay. I know that's rubbish. I just want it to give me an output. Right. Please work. Yes. Right. Do you remember? Did I teach you branching chats?
Ah, branching new chat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So what I would do, this is how my workflow would work. You've got your overall project for job search. You would have a chat for one thing, a chat for another job role, a chat for another job role. And then when you're working in here, so in one chat, and you want to do different things, but still within that context of what you're
Oh,
working on. Does that
oh,
make
no,
sense?
I understand. So, for
Branch,
example,
branch the
if
chat.
I want to have everything in academic role, so I create an academic CV first, then use branching new chat, and
Yeah.
for another academic role and another academic role.
Yeah. Exactly. But you could even use it for let's work on the CV, branch in chat, let's write the cover letter, branch in chat, let's do the interview prep, so that you're not getting rid of this original work here. You just start working in a new chat and you'll see what happens is where is it? Can you see it says branch, branch, branch?
Ah,
So you can always find them. Does that make sense?
yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, I like this style. Yes.
Yeah. So hopefully everything should be really organized for you, and really easy to find, but also really easy to just carry on working, but without losing your original work. That's what I like about branching in chats.
Yes, yes. Now I understand. Yes,
What
thank
I'll
you.
do it on the deck that I send out, I'll just put a slide on that as well, just to make sure that it's really clear for you.
Yeah, yes, please.
Okay. So today, what you've learned is how to write stronger prompts, how to give clearer context, use role, context, constraints, and output, how to make projects work harder and smarter for you, how to use prompt patterns more strategically, and how to make ChatGPT feel more useful and less random. And just to let you know where we're going next week, we're going to build your own custom assistant. And the reason why I've created these modules in the way that I have, Module 1, I wanted you to learn how to set it all up and learn where everything lived. Today, we've learned how to talk to it properly. And when we come to build your assistant next week, it's going to be so easy for you to write those custom instructions to make it behave because we've just done all that this week. Okay. Now, what I would like you to think about is what kind of custom assistant would help you. So, for example, these are some of my custom assistants that I have in my business. So I've got ones for social media, one for content creation, things for business, so pitching, sales templates, sales negotiation coach, productivity and management, creative tools, personal development, all sorts of things. These are all parts of my business that I use on a daily basis. So have I got one of CVs? Don't think I have because I've never really done a CV. But oh, there you go, CV enhancement bot. What kind of thing would you think would help you? Because once you've created one, you can create loads for different parts of your, I guess, life or career journey. But I'd just like to create one that you're all going to find useful. So would it be something like a CV enhancement bot? It's slightly different from a project, and I'll explain that next week. What do you
In a
guys think?
CV, sorry, in a CV enhancement bot, what would be included in it?
So in your project at the moment, you would set it up like that with your CV and one thing another. The bot is going to be really specific in tailoring your CV. So what you can do within a project or within a chat, you can pull that bot in to start working. Okay. So again, it's a bit more nuanced, it's a bit more niche. Um, what about the interview process bot? So this provides expert coaching for mock interviews and feedback.
Yes, that would be good.
Yeah. Um, it doesn't really matter what we build next week, but I want to make sure that you go away with one that is really, really robust and you will see how to build it so that then you can build your own going forward. So it might be that you want a mentor or a virtual assistant or something that writes your letters for you or something like that. But yeah, so okay, we'll do the interview process, but I do think that one will be good for you guys. Any more questions before we wrap up for today?
No, I think that's everything for me.
Okay. And I really appreciate all your interaction today as well. It's really helpful for me and also so that I know that you're not asleep as well. Um, if you do have any questions in between our session, like you can connect with me on LinkedIn and just message me on there. And also if you think as well, like, oh, I wish you would have given us a prompt about that, just let me know and I'll just write it for you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'll definitely connect with you.
All right, brilliant. It's over on LinkedIn, it's Penny Silver.
Okay, thank you.
Um, and then, yeah, so what you will get later today is the recording of this session. You'll get the deck and you'll also get the beautiful spreadsheet with all the prompts on.
Oh, I do have a question. Will the bot that we're building next week, will it also help like if we were to build our own separately with like stuff like LinkedIn and stuff?
Yeah, so I mean, have you guys all got I can't remember if you all got the paid account or you're on the free account.
Free account.
Free
Okay.
account.
So when you build a bot, you actually need the paid version. I think they have a month free off at the moment.
Oh, yeah, for ChatGPT, I'm on the paid account.
Yeah, brilliant. Then you can build one. If you're on the free version, what you can do is you can watch me follow me along. But then what I can do at the end of it, I can share that bot with you. You will be able to use that even if you're not on the paid account. But you will go away with a bot by the end of next week, whether I've built it or whether you've built it yourself. I'd rather, if you could get the paid version for next week, that would be better. Um, just because I'd really love you to build it with me as we're doing it. I think it'll give you a lot of confidence.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think currently they're doing it for free. So,
yeah, I'm sure one of my other students said they got a month free when they signed up.
yeah, I got a
I
month free. So
I
Awesome.
think I did, but I think I've used it now. I could create another account though, I suppose.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah.
Do you guys as students, do you not get discount? Or
no,
oh, well, I guess you're not students now, are you? Because you've graduated.
I don't think they do student discounts.
That's terrible. They should do. Right. Okay. Well, thank you very much. Have a lovely day. I don't know where you are in the world, but it's beautiful sunshine outside, so I am going to go for a walk and make the most of it. Um,
Uh,
have a
Hello,
lovely.
one question. Are we going to receive those prompt from email or from the LinkedIn?
It No, from email. So what I will do is I will put the pack together. I will email it over to Claire, and then Claire will cascade it out to you guys.
Ah, I understand. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Have a lovely day.
You too.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take
Bye.
care.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.